Have you ever thought about creating your own chatbot? Perhaps yes, but most likely you thought, no way, Federico, this is really hard. But it is really hard in 2023? I can tell you that it's not at all. I'm going to teach you how to create your own chatbot using OutSystems, your old friend for no code and low code, and OpenAI. Yeah, that magical company that created ChatGPT. And today you're going to discover how to create your first chatbot in less than 10 minutes. Let's get started. For this application, as I said, we're going to use OutSystems, this crazy tool that in the past I told you how to create your own apps without coding. And as you can see, it's not going to be so different. We're going to create a new application. We're going to choose from scratch because we want an app that is not created. We're going to choose a phone app and we're going to give it a name like Chatbot AI or something like that. We're going to choose a color, nothing special. We're going to create the app. After that, we're going to create a module that is a mobile one. And the next part, we're going to create a screen. That is the only one that we need for this application. We're going to call it home and create a screen. That's all. We're ready for it. The next part, we can give a title like chatbot or any name that you would like to give. Nothing special for this example. We're going to add a couple of containers that are going to be like the basics, where you're going to have the skeleton of the application. This is just to create the nice UI, let's say, where you're going to have a list with the answers, and the next part where you're going to contain the input and the send button. But that's pretty much all that we need. We're going to add some style because it's not exactly the best if it's all fit in same size. We're going to add some left and some right. So you're going to have some space for the chatbot, nothing special. After that, as I told you before, we need to create a section for texting the information. So we're going to add it. In this section, we're going to choose first an input, that is the place where we're going to type our questions to the chatbot. And the next section is going to be the send, or the place where you're going to send it. But first, as you see, we need to type the place where you're going to store the information, and we create a variable. Then we search for a button, we drag and drop the button, we can call it send. And the next part is to add the OpenAI libraries, that magic that is going to create the chatbot, because this is before even creating a send. We can search for OpenAI in the configuration of the dependencies, but in the beginning, I already have them. You can get them from Forge, where many people are uploading incredible libraries that can empower you for creating your own apps. These are the connectors that are already available. And in my case, I use the first one, OpenAI connector. There are others, you can test them and check how they look like. This one allows you to do queries like, hey, what is a cat? What is a dog? Or create images. For images, it's a more complex one. You can check it on your own in the future. And here's all the documentation that you need. After you are installed the one that you need, you can choose them. There are different ones. This is the one that you can do it. But this is the one, OpenAI, the first one that I used, that I checked. There are too many things and it's too complex. In my case, I'm using the second one that is easier. There is the one that I showed you before. As you can see, the second one has only the basic ones. You apply it and get it ready for you. So after it's created, you need to go into the button. You double click and you're going to be able to run a server action. A server action is something like what is OpenAI doing in the internet, because you're getting information from a server. So you go inside the connector and choose the completions. The completions is the ones that you are going to get answers. You can create a request and you need to get the OpenAI key. For this one, I created this small experiment. That is the one that you can see. We're going to paste it, and this is a one-time open key. In the description, you can get the information where you can get the keys. So I'm going to copy and paste my key. That is only for this time. I'm pasting it, and voila, we have the first part. The second part is in the request. You need to do clicking that plus. It's not visible all the time. And here you're going to choose a model that I'm going to use the DaVinci one. That is the cheapest and the easiest one to use. The prompt is the place where you get the information. So we're going to choose the chat, the DXT chat. The next part is the temperature, max tokens, and small configurations that you might not need. Most of them are optional. And the last part is the stop, where you're gonna cut and break the lines between the answers. After that, you need to do the JSON serialization. That information is already provided. You get it from the OpenAI, and that's all. Then you need to deserialize. I know this part is cumbersome and a little bit complex, but this is how it looks like. You get the JSON from the previous answer, and you need to choose the information. Unfortunately, the variable and the configuration that you have is not here. So you're going to use a JSON that is already provided by OpenAI. We copy and paste the answer, and we're going to create a new data that is a variable type. So you add it from the JSON, you paste it, and you give it a name, like OpenAI. You can give it any name. You add the structure, and now you have the configuration. Cool. Now that you have the JSON content, sorry, because it moved a little bit from the expected location, we come back here, and we choose the data type. That is now the OpenAI. And that's all. We already have the configuration. The last part is for displaying the data, for assigning the data. Where are we going to assign this data? Most likely we can use a list, right? The list is the perfect place to store it. But that is missing. So we need to add it as a new variable in the home. We right click and we add a variable. This one is going to be a list that we're going to call chats. Then we choose the add type and we search for the list type. It's going to give us what kind of answers we want, and we're going to choose text. And we choose select, and it's already created. The next action, we need to get a server client action. How we're going to get that? We go back to the logic, and in the logic, we need to go to server or to verify client actions. We need to expand from the system ones, and we search for list append. We drag and drop it again. And the next part after is this, we need to choose the list we're going to do the attached. And the last part is the value, where we get it. Yeah, you can get it as a configuration, but it's not so clear. So you're going to get this part, and the next part you need to do data choices 0 text, which is the first result that you get from the answers. We're going to replace it at the end, and voila, the first part is done. We get the data, but what is missing now? What we don't have? We need to display it in the result. Where are we going to get that? We need to go back to our home screen. And here comes something cool. We can drag and drop the chats. And it's ready. We're going to publish it and see how it looks like. So let's publish it. And now we're going to do click in open in browser. And as you can see, here is loading the preview of your future chatbot. Now we have the chatbot. Let's ask a question. Who is Bill Gates? And as you can see, we got an answer from OpenAI. Everything was really fast, really simple, and you can even ask, what is a cat? And as you see, you got an answer. Everything in a blink of an eye. Did you imagine that it was so fast to create your first chatbot with low code? With the power of OutSystems and OpenAI, you can reach new heights in the blink of an eye. It's time to upskill yourself and to become the next leader in your life. But before you leave, I will encourage you to subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and most importantly, upskill yourself with other videos, because it's up to you to become the next agent of change. See you the next time. Bye.